is the Big O Show. This 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 is the Big O Show.
For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
When presenting an award to an employee, athlete, executive, or fantasy GM, make sure you call Orvieto's Awards and More. For 35 years, these custom award specialists have been providing plaques, trophies, custom framing, while providing state-of-the-art laser and computerized engraving, UV printing, and glass crystal etching. They do all their engraving and printing in-house for quality control. Call Charles at 305-949-8098 or visit them at orvietosawards.com. Orvieto's Awards and More, where recognition is rewarding.
Oh, Sam, not again.
Initiating Daddy's back.
Go!
Set the rhythm of your smart home with Sloman Shield Blink, the new integrated smart home platform that automates your life just the way you want it. Sloman Shield Blink. Be the maestro of your own home.
There's just one place to celebrate a happy new model year. Acura of Pembroke Pines. Take $10,000 off a 2025 MDX at Acura of Pembroke Pines, the #1 volume Acura dealer.
When it comes to your smile, confidence is so important. At Moody S Dental, they provide the services to get your smile back. This family-run practice prides itself by offering the latest technology to give your family the best experience possible. Moody S Dental has been in business for over 30 years with offices in Hialeah and Plantation. They accept most major dental insurances. They provide free new patient exams, 20% off select treatments. To qualify, please follow us on Instagram at moodys.dental. Moody S Dental has been in business for over 30 years. To schedule an appointment in Hialeah, call 305-821-0231 and Plantation 954-692-6825. From Invisaligns, dental implants, same-day crowns, and the preventative care and preservation to get your smile back. Go to moodysdental.com to find out more and tell them Big O sent you.
The Sultan's choice for excitement and a caravan of savings awaits at Toyota of Hollywood. Your wish for savings has been granted with discounts of up to $4,500. Take a magic carpet ride in a Toyota Corolla, not $24,000, $19,988. Step into our Grand Bazaar where you'll find epic savings at the #1 volume Toyota dealer, Toyota of Hollywood, on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till midnight.
Hi, this is Jeff Welt from Welt & Rayom. Dan and I have been in business together for over 22 years. We're not your typical lawyers. When Dan's not working in the office, he's flying his stunt plane. When I'm not in the office, I'm either getting tattooed, bowling, riding a motorcycle, or going to concerts. We might not be your typical attorneys, but we are aggressive attorneys, and we'll do whatever it takes to get you what you deserve. Consultations are always free, Call us anytime, 24/7.
Welton Rayom can help.
If you're looking to take your home or business to the next level, then RM Contractors can assist you. RM specializes in new residential turnkey, new commercial turnkey, home and office remodeling. Call them for free estimates. Serving all of South Florida, licensed and insured. Call Ray, 305-345-3649. You work hard to create the perfect atmosphere. You dream it, we'll build it. RM Contractors, 305-345-3649 or Instagram at RMC Fisher Island.
The viewpoint, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. Miami Dolphins fans, time to rock out with another Dolphins pregame show. Big O and the boys are ready to give you the latest information, injury news, gambling insight as we get ready for kickoff. The pregame show is brought to you by Welton Rayom, Toyota of Hollywood, Acura of Pembroke Pines, Hialeah Park Casino, RM Contractors. The broadcast is mastered by executive producer Sean Stanley. Here's your host, the Big O, Orlando Alzugari.
All righty. We are flying solo. So, first of all, need to know, do we have audio? Audio good. We good in the hood? Just want to get the thumbs up. There we go. Let's see what we got, because I know we got some folks already signed up. I want to make sure once I get the thumbs up on the chat board. Good. All right. Thank you, Robert T. Appreciate you. All right. Good morning. It is Sunday, October 12th, 2025. It is day number 18,898 since the Miami Dolphins lifted the Vince Lombardi Trophy. It is also day number 111 that Bitcoin is over 100,000. So it's very important since we're at 113 right now. It's all good in the hood. The line, by the way, the Chargers, it started off at 5.5 points. It ended where it's now at 3.5 points. Chargers favored going into this game. Over and under is 44. Dolphins are plus 175 on the money line. The Chargers are minus 210. Don't ask me why. I do this to myself, but I do. I actually think they're going to win today. You know, it's like there's no reason I should think anything like that. You know what I'm saying? And by the way, I'm just checking it up. It's still at 3.5 right now. The only thing that changes is that the money line has now dropped to minus 200 for the Chargers and plus 165 for the Dolphins. So money is coming in on the Dolphins since it opened up at 5.5, and it came all the way down. I know, Bag on Head, you want what I'm smoking, right? It's crazy that I would think that. It's just they're going to win some games, Bag on Head. They're not going to lose all their games. This team is way better than the one that was 1-15. So you've got players here that you should be able to do something. Plus, there are always perfect storms in all of this. And today, we live in South Florida, where we try to avoid constantly the perfect storms. Unfortunately, our friends on the West Coast have, dealt with all those perfect storms all the time, right? They come out there in the Atlantic and they scare the crap out of us, right? Well, sometimes there's a good perfect storm. And today, sometimes it all comes together for you. You look at the Dolphins pass rush and the fact that they have so many people out. Trey Pipkin is out with the knee. Joe Alt is out with the ankle. Jamari Saylor is out with the knee. So you have a lot of Mekhi Becton, which, Mekhi Becton is a guy that has been injured all his entire career. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not necessarily shocked that he's injured, and he was a tackle when he came out of college. But Mekhi has been moved inside and, been another – it's another guy that you cannot count on because he's constantly injured. So they've got a ton of injuries. Miami has a pretty good pass rush. So these are going to be things that are, and they're going to try to run the ball, which is what you do against this team to kind of limit that pass rush. You're going to throw short passes, which is what you do against this team to limit that pass rush. You know what I'm saying? But you're going to have some moments here. You are going to have some moments here. And so I think, again, I'm sorry, but it's just kind of crazy. But I actually think they can win today. You know what I'm saying? And I know we're all torn, right? We've got your friends, your family members, some of your coworkers, they're rooting them to lose for draft picks, right? I'm just a fan, dude. What can I tell you? I'll tell you what's really going to go on. I'll be honest about the team, but I'm not going to, I can't sit here and root against them. I'm going to be rooting for them. And now if I don't think they're going to win, I'll tell you that I don't think they're going to win. I think they got a shot at winning today. The Chargers are a beatable team. You're home, and again, they have the better coach, which happens every week for the Dolphins. The better coach usually is on the other sideline, not on ours. But I just think this is one of those weeks where the players can overcome the head coach and find a way to win. I really do. And I got to say, there have been moments, God, I can't believe I'm going to say this, but there have been moments this year in the last couple of weeks where McDaniel has actually, stuck to a decent game plan sometimes. Now, does he do it for all 4 quarters? No, he doesn't. Just like last week. First half, beautiful. Second half, what are you doing? That kind of stuff. So he has stretches. Hopefully he'll have a couple stretches here. Hopefully the players will find a way, But I actually like the Dolphins to win this game. You know what I'm going to do? The line is Chargers -3.5. I'm not going to bet the Dolphins yet. I'm going to hope, remember what we talk about always for value to make a little money. I'm going to wait for the live line now. I'm going to pray that the Chargers get the ball first and they start driving down the field. And then I'm going to watch the line. And it'll move the algorithm even up more. And so if I can get 4.5 or 5 or 5.5 or 6, or if they score a field goal or a touchdown, it's going to add a lot more points. That's when I'm going to pounce. So I'm going to kind of wait till I see the end of the drive that they either have to punt and maybe move the line a little bit. Maybe they drew to midfield or the Miami's 45 or something, and then they punted. Maybe that moves the line a little bit, and then I pounce. So I kind of like the Dolphins here to take the dog, too, on top of all of that. I'll give you my parlay pick, too, in a few minutes. Last week, we hit on the parlay. This week, I got a little cocky. It's a 4-play parlay. So we'll see. And it's all in this game, the 4-play parlay in this game. So we'll give that to you also here on the program. Remember, folks, Big E Strong, get your bands, man. Let's back Big E. The information is there on the billboard. If you are listening on the audio, make sure you make an effort to go to YouTube and subscribe, by the way, and hit the like button. But also you can see all the information there as the Sports Babe and Lou will get it out to you. All right. Don't forget, you can make a donation to the show, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Cash App or Venmo. You can make a Bitcoin, Ethereum, Chainlink, Solana donation, which we always appreciate that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And on Venmo, Bag on Head. Thank you, sir, for the love on Venmo. He says, Big O got my Rush tickets Friday through the City Card presale. Got 2 for the first show of the tour in L.A., and 4 in New York. I'm stoked and I'm broke. Yeah, I know they're expensive. Yeah, super expensive, dude. Wow, you are good. I tried to convince my wife because I want to go to LA, but I think I'm gonna have to either buy the regular sale because I have Citibank also, and I couldn't get to her to decide on anything, so I'm probably gonna have to buy it on the secondary market or something like that. So we'll see what happens with the initial sale on Monday and all that and how it all shakes down. But I haven't even decided where I'm going to go because we were thinking Toronto, but I can't do the Toronto one because it's too close to when she starts school right at the same time. So it kind of gets in the way. And I really want to go to Toronto. Then LA was the one she's tired of going to LA. I never get tired of, I would never live in LA. I would never live in California, but I do like visiting LA. I like being there for a couple days a week, see a bunch of shows and get the hell out. You know what I'm saying? So I wanted to do that, but unfortunately she didn't. So I got to figure something out. I will. I'm going to go see him. You know, I mean, I've seen Rush several times, and I'm lucky that I got to see Neil Peart and Rush, but I'm definitely going to go see him. So hopefully, bag on head, maybe I'll be at one of those shows, and we'll hang and we'll have a beer, my brother. Thank you, as always. Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Cash App or Venmo. Ray, thank you for the love, my brother. I appreciate you as always. He says, happy football and crypto Sunday. Beautiful football Sunday. Great dip. McDaniel, please call a good game. And, you know, I hope he does. You know what I'm saying? But he, I don't know, man. It's one of those things where it's potluck. Put it that way. That's kind of the way it goes. You know, it's potluck. And we hope that he is dialed in today. You know what I'm saying? That's what we hope, that he's dialed in. And if he's dialed in, then we got a shot. That's why I told you at the beginning of the show that I think the players can overcome the coach and outplay their opponent. You know? So that's kind of the way I feel. And I think today Miami wins too. I really do. I think Miami finds a way to win the game. So that's why I'm going to hang on for the live line and wait till the game starts to see if I can get a better value. If Miami receives, I will probably make the bet right away and take the 3.5 points, because I like that half point. I really like that half point. You know, because worst case scenario, if they lose by a field goal, I got that half point as my hook. You know, and that half point is always a hook, good or bad sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully for me and us, it's in the good situation, because hopefully they win and we don't even have to worry about the hook. You know, so that's what we're going to do. Anyway, what else do we have? Inactives. Let's get to the inactives. Jalen Wright. Not a real big dedication to the running game anymore, huh? We're going to go in with two backs again. I don't get it, man. I really don't get it. It just makes no sense, but whatever. Quinn Ewers, as you all know, is the emergency third quarterback. Cedric Wilson Jr. Makes sense. He practiced this week. You kind of get him going for next week, and he'll probably play next week. Elijah Campbell was kind of set to be out. So Terrell Dotson also with the concussion. Oh, man, I'm trying to hold back my sneezing. What else? Storm Duck also, and Zeke Biggers, who has been kind of – I don't understand the Zeke Biggers one. Maybe it's just a flat-out numbers, but I'd be giving him playing time. You know, now I don't know what he's doing in practice, and he might be a little behind, but it's not like the top two guys are tearing it up. I would kind of like – that's what this season is about. It's a transition season. It's a developmental season. You know, a lot in the media are finding that out now. They're kind of realizing now that, oh, the roster isn't that good. Yeah, we know that already, on this show at least. You know, I was tripping out. Barry Jackson's reporting yesterday that, oh, there's Bradley Chubb trade talk. And I'm like, yeah, expected, as we told you 6 months ago, that the trading deadline would be Tyreek Hill and Bradley Chubb. Tyreek Hill got injured. Done. That's not an option anymore. Chubb is going to be the one. And Chubb, you were going to get a bigger pick anyway than for Tyreek. Tyreek was more of a gamble, whereas Chubb, you can actually even control him for one more year if you want. If you trade for him, you can actually, if he has a really strong finish for you in the playoffs and all that, you can keep him for an extra season if you feel like it. You know, if your cap situation's all right. and you got yourself a legit pass rusher, But I just kind of laugh at. I'm watching people now. They're realizing that the roster is not that good, and it was thin, and it's the same people that were making cases for this to be a good year, which I don't even know how. When you assess this roster, it's you surprised yourself, not some of us, because there's no surprise here that this roster was not going to be a good roster. You could tell by the way it was constructed. It was not going to be a good roster, and they weren't going to go anywhere. Now we're hearing Bradley Chubb talk, and I'm laughing. I'm like, yeah, dude, that was going to happen anyway, because that's what this season's all about, unfortunately. Anyway, we've got the banners still flying. It's got. I saw the tweets out there. Now they're putting ads behind it. I don't even remember the ad that was behind it. It shows that the marketing really didn't help anyway. So it is what it is. It's not that expensive to fly it. It's just a waste of time. But listen, man, you get media to talk about it. You get people to post it on social media. So it's free advertising. The guy that put advertising is better than the people that just buy the plane to put the message, because that doesn't do anything. Obviously, as we told you, did they fire anybody? They don't give a shit about your little banners or all that. They don't care about your booze or any of that, as we've tried to tell you many, many times. They don't worry about those things, man. They're fine doing what they're doing because they're making a ton of money, man. Don't forget, folks, that the Big Cheese, a proud sponsor of our program. You can visit them 7 days a week, man. 8080 Southwest 67th Avenue, 305-662-6855. You can order party platters, all that. If you live there in the Kendall, Miami area, before the Dolphin games, before the Canes games, you can order party platters, all that. The holiday season coming up, party platters. Reach out to our friends, BigCheeseMiami.com. They know how to get it done. All right. Oh, what else do we want to talk about here on Le Programme? Let me go to the chat board here. What do we got on the chat board? I see Jeff in Long Island is number one. Dolphin Dave. Jamie Zorria. Let's see. True Fin Fan. Omar Geiner. Stephen Harris. Kosa. Horndog. Christian DiMartino, John Pettis. Whatever happened to that Tua Waddle Hill, what a thrill rapper guy? He stopped doing them, and it's not easy. Plus, the team's not helping. Tua Waddle Hill wasn't much of a thrill, so there isn't much of that going on anymore. So it's hard. What else? DJ Billy Man. You had a good night of sleep, pretty rested. I don't know. I slept all right. The NyQuil helped me out. I got a little bit of a cold. I got it on Friday. I was already feeling it on Friday. It's weird. It hasn't been a nasty cold, but I got a little phlegm and all that kind of crap. And so I didn't go yesterday to the Dolphin fan get together over at Bo Campers. I wanted to go, but I'm not going to do the dick move and show up there and I got a cold and then I'm shaking hands and hugging people and all that, and then I'm getting everybody else sick. That's bullshit. I'm not doing that. So I've been home the entire weekend. I haven't had to leave, and obviously this stuff luckily this year I didn't have to go to a bar to do the Dolphins pre and post game show. So I'm in studio, so that's the fortunate part, that I don't have to go a little bit under the weather or go somewhere, because I would probably tell everybody, yeah, stay away from me, whatever. But I wasn't going to go to that Dolphin get-together and start getting people sick, So I slept a lot, actually. So I don't know if my Samsonites are any better or worse, but I always have bags. That's always been my entire life. Jay Gelfin is in the house. Robert McGinnis. Any update on Jason Sanders? He's not coming back this week, at least. The other kid has done well. Run, rock, Ollie, 20 carry stardom. Throw Waller every series. Come on, D-line. Mr. Grant, nice hat, sir. Best linebacker in Finn's history. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Basketball Jones in the house. Murphy. Hope the Chargers defense sends Tua into official retirement. That's really nice. Shelby Jordan. You don't root for them to lose, but if they do, it will help them long term. Will it? Will it? Will it? Just saying. Jake Long, change it. Ronnie Brown, change it. Deion Jordan, change it. Tua, change it. Just saying. Let's just talk about that too. We've talked about that on the show because that is also a huge farce. That's a myth. Okay? Stop with that shit. Shula used to win every year, and he was picking in the back end of the first round all the time. He got Marino in the back end of the first round. He got Tim Bowens in the back end of the first round. It's not who you draft. It's not where you draft, it's who you draft. Okay? You had a chance. You had an opportunity to get a Hall of Fame caliber wide receiver, even though he hasn't made it yet, in Anquan Bolden in the second round. But you went with Eddie Moore. You had a Hall of Fame caliber quarterback available to you in the later part of the first round, but you went with John Avery. You got to stop that shit. You keep hoping that you lose, and you end up with the top pick or the top 5 pick, and really? I'm sorry, I must have missed it. I must have missed that thinking changed all of our futures. Got to stop with that, man. Come back to reality. That's what we do on this show. On this show, we're fans, but we're realistic fans. And we give you the honest breakdown of what's really going on. Okay? Bullshit hosts out there will tell you the same. Oh, yeah, they'll fall for this, but they don't really actually look at the history, the facts. Oh, no, we'll get a higher pick. It'll be better for us. Who says? Who says, dude? Jason Taylor's a 3rd rounder, and Zach Thomas is a 5th rounder. Who says that? It's not where you pick, it's who you pick. So just because you pick him at 1 or at 5 doesn't mean he's going to be better than the guy at 25. How about Andrew Van Ginkel? 5th rounder. Hell of a player. Got to stop that shit. That's why I'm never going to be that fan that's going to sit there and hope that they lose. You know what I mean? I know that they suck. I told you that they were going to suck this year. I told you this was not going to be a good year. But I'm a fan. I'm going to watch anyways. I love them. It doesn't matter. I'm a better fan than those other ones that aren't willing to even actually face the truth. I face the truth and I'm still here. You know? So stop with that shit. That ain't going to get you any better. Let's see. Steven says, wow, has got to be smoking something really good. Damn, you calling McDaniels a better coach? No, I did not. I never said that. You got to listen to English. I said he's gotten on short rolls in certain games where he's called a decent game. Like last week, he called a good first half, called a shitty second half. Got to listen, bro. It's English. Pay attention. The only difference in this game is Harbaugh is 10 times the coach of Ronald McDonald. Exactly. There's no doubt about that. And that's why I say that the players have to overcome the coach. And that's what I think they'll do today. I think they'll do enough to overcome the coach today. Arizona fanatic goes, McDaniel sees what works and then goes away from it. It's a great line, and it's so true. It's so true. Oh, my God. Lisa Rose in the house. Not True Fin Fan says, anyone who hopes for a player to get injured is just wrong. Yeah, I don't wish for people to get injured, and I certainly don't wish for my teams to lose. I can tell you, hey, I think they're going to lose today, but it's not like I'm rooting for them to lose. No, I'm not doing that. Let's see. Bag on Head says, the in-game betting is all I do. It's so much better. It gives you opportunities. It allows you to see the flow of the game. Exactly. Big E is going to the game today. Yes, he is, which is awesome. What else? The Stojanovic kicks. Miami 54, San Diego 38. Trust me. Big second half for Waller, too. All right. But you do know they don't play in San Diego or our San Diego anymore, right? Okay. Just want to make sure. Because, you might be giving me a score from the 80s. This is a Dan Marino, Stan Humphries score that you're just giving me right now. Just saying. Adolfo Foliaco, Ray Grullon. Let's hope the wedding planner coach calls a semi-decent game. I know I'm dreaming. Leon Fresco, thank you for the love on the super chat. Let me see here. Can I do what Sean does with this stuff? Here we go. Right? There we go. So done with the Dolphins that I'm going to Wizards versus Raptors preseason game with my son here in D.C. Oronde Gadsden's regret game going on today. You're a trip. Thank you, sir. And enjoy the basketball game with your son. Actually, that's more important, right? Enjoy it with the family. Corso, thank you. He says, happy anniversary to my parents of 51 years. That is awesome, dude. 51 years married. Man, wow. The wife and I have 20 more years to go for that. 50 to get to 51. Wow, that's awesome. Good for them, dude. That's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Dolphin Dave says, how are they going to win this game? They can't stop the run, can't stop passing, can't coach. You are smoking some good weed. Well, hey, man, you should be going to the same dispensary. What can I tell you? If you're going to the bad dispensaries, I'm going to the good ones. Give me another gummy. Anyway, let's see. Jeffrey, don't show up to the games. That'll never happen. That'll never happen. That all the people that say that are the people that don't go to the games anyways. Let's see. Ocala Joe, morning. While the Finns keep letting us down, my consolidation in Bitcoin doesn't fail to lift us up. I know, right? It went down to 108, 109, and I bought right away. Now we're back up to 113, and it'll take off. And, it's like it's really, it's just like elementary. It's so simple. And there's not a lot of thinking, just patient. Hodl, buy dips, stay strong. Don't worry about the flinching taco president. None of that. After all that, they backed up out of everything. Vance, no, he's going to be reasonable. This, that. China backs off of their thing. And all the people that sold, they just panic sold and lost money. And those of us that stayed strong and stayed, knowing what we know, we're like, go ahead, fool, sell. Thank you. I'll get a little cheaper Caspa. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Lowered my average. Thank you for doing that. Lowered my average in Polis. Thank you very much. Got myself some Bitcoin. Awesome. Stack. Wait. It's patience, man. Like today, Dolphins are 3.5-point dogs. I'm going to wait for the live line and wait for the kickoff. If the Chargers get the ball, then that line could go up even more, and I'm going to wait for value. Patience. You just got to know when to get in and know when to get out and know when not to flinch. And there was no reason to flinch when somebody does that on a Friday at 5 o'clock. Wonder why he does it on a Friday at 5 o'clock. So, it's really simple. Anyway, there are motives all over the place. There's agendas all over the place. And they're not so hidden. They're just hidden to the average person. Some of us, we kind of see through the bullshit. Anyway, Gus 1388. It's true, though. It's who you pick, not where you pick, but who's actually doing the picking, though. Go. Let's see. Arnaldo Alonso, Big O, to change the subject. If you want to take the wife on a very nice vacation, consider taking her on a cruise through the Greek islands and the Amalfi Coast. Dude, I'm dying to go to the Amalfi Coast. God, that place is beautiful. We just got back last week. It was awesome. I have seen the Greek islands and the Amalfi Coast, and that is on a bucket list to go with the wife. Definitely, dude. Definitely. So, thank you. Lake Como, Amalfi Coast, those kind of places are just, yeah, definitely. Cosa Nostra wants me to puff pass since I'm picking the Dolphins today. Nate G says, I think we have a chance to win. I have hopium for today. We're pumping it. We're pumping that hopium. Let's see. Can you cancel Chris Perkins today if the Finns lose? I'm afraid of what he'll have to say. Big O probably smoking that yum like Ludacris. What else? How about Westbrook Ikini catching a ball today or a touchdown today? Yes, sir. Overdue. Like basically. Well, I mean, what can we do? You know what I mean? TJ Superman got himself some more cash, but that's a smart man right there. It's a smart man. By the way, we thank the folks at Sloman's, proud sponsors of our show. And by the way, after the game, we will have the Sloman's key decision of the game, which your key decision is to get ShieldLink, where, of course, you get professional-grade security monitoring with cutting-edge smart home automation. Homeowners now, you can lock the doors, adjust the thermostat, switch the lights on or off, view the live camera feeds, and you can even create automated routines from a single dashboard right there on your phone. So if somebody leaves the house, you'll see the sensors, somebody leaving, you'll see the camera, but then you'll see that they didn't lock the door. They forgot, or so they were on the phone and they got distracted and they didn't lock the door. You can actually lock it right there. Can you imagine? Back in the day in the 70s and the 80s when you did that by accident? Or if somebody's delivering some food and they ring the doorbell and there's nobody home, you'll know they're ringing the doorbell. You know somebody's approaching your house because the cameras and the sensors will tell you. Then you can tell the person through the speaker, hey, just leave the food there. I'll be there in 2 minutes. You're pulling in and then you can get your food. Oh, man, it's been hot all day here in South Florida, wherever you live, or cold. And you want to turn on the AC or the heater. You're headed home. You want to make sure the house is comfortable when you get there. Boom. Or you got dogs like we do. You want to make sure that the temperature is comfortable for the dogs. You know what I'm saying? So all of these things, that's why you want to get ShieldLink. And please call our friends. 1-866-756-6467. 1-800-ALARM-ME. And tell them that Big O sent you. Sloman's ShieldLink. All right. Don't forget Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo. And you can make a Bitcoin, Ethereum, Chainlink, or Solana donation, of course. And we appreciate it. You can send your questions, comments, insults, all kinds of stuff. Thank you. Let me give you Luis Solis, thank you, sir, for the love on the super chat. Let me bring you up here. He says, pick one, waffles, French toast, or pancakes. I'm going French toast, bro. French toast for me is number one. Then I'm going waffles. Then I'm going pancakes. I'm a French toast guy all the way. Love French toast, bro. Like, if I get thick French toast, if I could go to those places, don't give me that don't give me that regular bread ass French toast. I'm going to kick your ass. Give me that thick Texas toast, French toast, okay? And love it, bro. Love French toast. Oh, it's my favorite. My favorite. Waffles second, pancakes are third. That's the order that I'm rocking. I see Corso likes the French toast, bag on head, French toast. Danny Gonzalez, I saw Dolphins' next head coach on TV, Darren Rizzi. So Lee says it's all about the bread. I agree. Anyway, let me give you my parlay. Last week we hit the parlay. We hit the 3-pick parlay because you've been asking me about parlays every week. And I swung and missed on the first 2 parlays. So last week was my third parlay, and I hit on it, the 3-bet parlay. We took the over Darren Waller, 39.5 yards. We took over Rico Dowdle, 79.5 yards. Dude went for 200. And then we took a Darren Waller anytime touchdown, and that was a plus 1,500. So I have got a plus 2,000 for you this time around. Okay, but it's a 4-pick parlay now. All right. I got Julian Hill over 24.5 yards in this game. The focus on Darren Waller will make Julian Hill more of a target, and Julian Hill has actually played well this year and been consistent. So I think Hill will get the 25 yards that I need in this parlay. I also took, and by the way, it's plus 200. I also took Julian Hill over 1.5 catches. We won that last week on one of our parlays that we had that because in order for him to get to 25 yards, he probably needs 2 catches. So I think he's going to get that. That's plus 140. Okay. Then I took a Darren Waller anytime touchdown. Dude, I got it at plus 240. That's value. I think he could score a touchdown. Okay, I'm not going to say 2 because he could, but he doesn't, Tua doesn't have a ton of options, and Waller is a very comfortable option to have. So I'm going with an anytime touchdown by Darren Waller. I got it plus 240. And then here is the one that is going to be a little tricky, right? It's funny. I'm talking Julian Hill, and this one's the one that's tricky. A Jalen Phillips sack. I figure we're talking Herbert, athletic, got to run around, buy some time, bad offensive line. Jalen Phillips is going to get freed. He's super athletic himself. I like Jalen Phillips over half a sack plus 180. So I've got plus 2,000 total on this 4-play parlay. Once again, Julian Hill over 24.5 yards. Julian Hill over 1.5 catches. Jalen Phillips over half a sack. And an anytime touchdown from Darren Waller. Those 4 come in. We got a plus 2,000 on that parlay. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Okay? There you go. What can I tell you? Good luck to you all out there. Remember, I am not a gambling financial expert, financial advice. I don't do any of that. I'm just some idiot that just talks some sports. That's all I do. Okay? Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Cash App or Venmo, and you can make a Bitcoin, Ethereum, or Chainlink donation. Of course, you can use all of those QR codes that we put up. Bitcoin's about to hit 114,000. It's 113,925. It is skyrocketing now. Crazy stuff. Jules says, in San Diego Dolphins game I went to, San Diego had big butts and we had big cocks. Marion Butts and Brian Cox is what Jules is talking about. Marion Butts was a big bruising running back. By the way, the guy that they have as their like third back now or whatever, the guy with the Hubbard or whatever it is, I don't know, the backup, he's a big boy. He's like 262, 230 or something like that. Then the backup is like a 5'8" scat back, you know, because I was thinking of using, you know, the over there, but the problem is it wasn't value. It was like minus 130, 140 or something to get over 40 yards. So they're kind of assuming that he'll easily get the 40 yards against the Dolphins, and against that defense, what can we say? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it is what it is. Post game, we will have David Furones and Chris Perkins joining us on the show, fresh from the locker room. So make sure you check us out there. As always, have a little fun with that. Luis Solis says, thanks for saying my name right. Some people say Solis. Well, I mean, maybe they're not Hispanic. You know, if you're Hispanic, you know it's Solis. Like, you know. Let's see. Joseph Waters, without hiring a new GM, it doesn't matter where they pick in the draft. Let's see. Incognitus, Big O, I want Miami to keep Tua. He's still talented. It's unless you build it right, you're not going anywhere with him. So it doesn't really matter. You know what I'm saying? Until you commit to a real offensive line and then a coach that will have a dedicated running game, you know, you're not going to be able to maximize his skill set. But if you can't block for him and he's got to run for his life and you can't run for him also, and he doesn't have that option in the offense, it just becomes harder for these kind of quarterbacks. And so, like I said, look, I'm with the Tua haters at this point. I love Tua. I got no problem with Tua. The only time I have a problem with Tua, you all know, is when he starts doing stupid shit, like thinking he's an athlete and he wants to go run around and crap like that. That's where I draw the line with Tua. You know, I want him to stay in the pocket, just like I wanted Dan Marino to stay in the pocket, just like I'm sure everybody wanted Brady to stay in the pocket, or Peyton Manning, or, bro, you can live from there, fine, no problem. Your team has to compliment you the right way. So if you're not, all we're going to do is see the kid get killed, and he'll be too injured to continue to play in his career. So either you build it right, or just let him go and let him go to somewhere else where they actually know how to, you know. We are Cleveland. You do know that, right? We are the Jets. That's what we've proven for decades. Decades. We didn't even know how to compliment Marino. That's how incompetent we are. We didn't even know how to compliment Marino. We didn't give him the wall of Montezuma, and we didn't give him the running game. Luckily, he was freakish enough that he could win you a couple of extra games. Nothing monumental. Excuse me, a cold. I'm getting a little stuffy. Nothing monumental. You weren't going to win big games because he didn't have the things you needed to win big games, unfortunately. Didn't have the defense, didn't have the run game and all that. But you were going to win a couple of extra games because he's a freak. But in the end, we're failures because we failed Marino. And we're doing the same thing now to this kid. So it's just kind of the way it is. But, I mean, a lot of people aren't willing to look in the mirror and just see what the real problem is, unfortunately. You know, you got a quarterback. Your coach has to understand how to maximize that running back, this quarterback, that wide receiver, this defensive tackle, that defensive lineman, that D-back, whatever it is. You know? And if you don't know what their limitations are and where they shine, and that's your job, to put them in the positions where they shine and keep them away from places where they don't shine. And all we do is keep forcing our guy into a position where that's not who he is. And then you push him to that point where then he has to start trying to do those kind of things, and then bad shit happens. You know, so it's really simple math. It's just people have a hard time dealing with the reality of, you know, what's gone on here for 45 years. And that's just the sad reality of where we live and who we are, unfortunately. What can I tell you, ladies and gentlemen? Right? I'd love to paint a beautiful picture, but I can't because it just doesn't allow us. But having said all that, I think they can overcome today. I think they can win. I really do. And San Diego, the Chargers from Los Angeles are injured enough that Miami should be very competitive in this game and maybe even win it. They have their share of injuries, but you've got a team right now that is very predictable in the way they're going to come in. Take advantage of it. And by the way, I think these players, I'll give them credit. As incompetent as McDaniel is, I haven't seen a team that has quit. And I don't think they're playing for him. See, that's another misconception out there that we have sometimes. And media and fans are at fault at this. And I really blame the media at times more than the fans. Because you guys aren't in the locker rooms. We are. And so in my history of being in locker rooms, okay, so you're losing. Am I blaming this guy? No. So there are players that they're super professional. So because they lost a big game or they didn't have a good season, that doesn't mean that a bunch of them quit. And that's the part that I hate, that it's really lazy to say, oh, the players are playing for themselves. In the 1-in-15 year, those guys were playing hard, man. And they hated Cam Cameron, but they were playing hard for themselves. We have this lazy thing where immediately we say, well, the players are still playing. They're playing hard for their coach. No, they're not. They're playing hard for themselves. Everything's on film. You know, everything is man, I'm dying to clear up my nose. I can feel how stuffed up it is. Everything's on tape. That's your resume. So if you give up and not try, it has nothing to do with the coach when you go out in free agency. And there's a lot of these players that got a shit ton of pride and professionalism in what they do. And for us to think, oh, well, they're playing hard for the coach. No, they're not. They're playing hard because that's who they are. That's how they're built. That's how they're dialed in. That's who those kind of dudes are. And they're not going to let down their teammate. That's what really goes on, and people don't understand that. And the lazy thing is, oh, they're still playing for the coach. Bullshit. They're playing for themselves. And I still think that these guys are playing for themselves. And that's why I think you can overcome the coaching today, because you're not really going to be playing a team that has a high level of cards that they're dealing right now. And you can't play poker here right now. Now, they've got enough chips to win this one. They do. I know it sounds crazy looking at a 1-4 record, but I don't do that kind of shit. You guys know this. If you watch this show, you know I don't play the little fanboy cheerleader. You know, there's plenty of people on radio that are afraid to actually be truthful, and you know they like to stay away from the doom and gloom. Let's just stay happy face and, you know, spin everything, or let's just joke around about it. So that way, you know, we don't have to hurt somebody's feelings and all that. You know, I don't do that. And if I thought they were going to lose, I'll tell you, I don't like this game for them. I'm rooting for them, but I don't like it. Yeah, I like this one. I think this is one that we can actually have a happy post-game show where they found a way to win. All right, it's not about style points, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? I don't care about style points. I just care about winning. That's all I want you to do. Win. That's it. I know there's a certain section of you that are rooting for them to lose, for your draft pick and all that other silliness. But, you know, what can I tell you? By the way, I'd be remiss if I did not give the Florida Panthers a victory cigar. Got it done last night, 6-2, dude. The Panthers are absolutely on a roll. They beat the Senators last night, 6-2. They won their 3-game homestand. They now head on the road for 5. Marchand opened up the scoring. Rodriguez, Ekblad, Lundell, Samoskevich, and then Reinhardt yesterday. Just 6 different dudes, and it's so typical of the Panthers. And kudos to Inter Miami, who took care of their nemesis, the Atlanta United. Lionel Messi with 2 goals, Jordi Alba with a goal, and Luis Suarez. Wow, that was a golazo. Got to give him credit for that one. That rip job that he put yesterday, wow, that was beautiful. That was beautiful. So good job there for some of our local teams as they get the victory cigar. All right, folks, don't forget Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo. And you can make a Bitcoin, Ethereum, Chainlink, or Solana donation. And again, I'm really sorry I could not go to FanFest yesterday. I just, with this, it's not a big cold, but I can feel it, and I wasn't going to do that, bro. I just wasn't going to do that. It wasn't right. Plus, it gave me an opportunity to kind of rest, stay in bed, and hang out, and and just chill, and hopefully, and keep taking my NyQuil and some extra Nature Bees, and get out. The good thing is that it hasn't taken over me, because I felt it on Friday. We're already on Sunday, and it really hasn't gotten too bad. So I'm hoping that it's kind of a light cold and it goes away. But hey, whatever. I do have the vaccine, so maybe that will help me out also. The new macaco one, or whatever the hell that thing is called. I got that for whatever that pneumonia thing that's out there or whatever. So who knows? Maybe that helped me, and maybe that's why it's going through my system a little faster, and it really has not taken over. You know what I'm saying? So that's good for me at least. But the last thing I was going to do is go to that Dolphins get together and start shaking hands and hugging people and all that kind of crap. And then, then they're sick. And that's just not cool, dude. Not cool. Let's see. What else do we have? Robert, thank you, my brother. I don't feel bad. That's the good thing. It hasn't been a body cold or I'm all achy and all that kind of stuff. Just a little bit of phlegm, just a little bit of stuffiness. Just that's all I've gotten, a little bit. It's not too bad, actually. It's really not too bad. So I've been very, very fortunate. But thank you for looking out. Incognita says, I got to change my YouTube name. Just realized it's too close to Richie Incognito, and I don't want to be attracted to Richie and John Martin. I get it. Incognitus McGee, I don't know, dude. I'm not thinking of, I think you're incognito. McGee, you're just like a dude that's incognito. That's what you mean. Maybe your name is McGee, but you're just like, or just saying, here I am, just a dude incognito. I wasn't really thinking of Richie Incognito, to be quite honest. I was just going, Incognitus McGee. My man wants to stay incognito. That's all. That's kind of the way I look at it. Let's see. Bag on Head says, Jets getting the ball back with 2:23 left, down by 2, could upset Denver. Crap happens. Let me see. I gotta blow my nose already. I can feel the stuffiness already as it is. Yeah, 13-11 with 2 minutes left, and the Jets with the ball, 2nd and 3rd at the 50-yard line. So they got a shot to get in a field goal range and win this game against the Broncos. This is what happens when you travel. Anyway, we'll see what happens. All right, folks, we are out of here. We appreciate it. The stuffiness is already getting to me here towards the end. We shall see you post-game. Chris Perkins, David Furones will join us fresh from the locker room. We'll go over everything that happened. See you post game. Go Fins.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.